Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Thursday night paint night. I'm your host, Adam. I got my wife over here heading up the computer.
Hi, guys.
So if you have any questions tonight, you know what to do. Just go ahead and ring them up into the comments, and we'll do our best to be able to answer those. Also, we have a couple of giveaways to do tonight. So hashtag Lime into the comments. That's going to put you in to the wheel to for a chance to win. And tonight we'll be winning the Ultimate Sanding Pack, which we'll be demonstrating a lot of this stuff here tonight. An Ultimate Sanding Pack comes with one of these blocks, and then it comes with pretty much all the sizes that you need of the silicon carbide sandpaper. And that's how we'll be sanding tonight. We'll be hand sanding, but we will be machine polishing, which is very important. You need a machine to be able to polish these out. The only sandpaper we really need tonight is the 2000 grit. I already have it soaking here. Grab one of these right here. Oh,
whoa.
2000 grit. That's what we're going to use. We're going to sand the surface smooth using 2000 grit. Now that it's been clear coated, and then we're going to polish it back out to get the shine back. So, yep, that's right. We've clear coated it, and now we're going to sand it, but we're going to polish it right back and make it look better than it even is right now. So, if you have any questions, it's a really important thing to learn when it comes to custom paint, because the job's not finished until it's all cut and polished. And to be honest, if you think you're going to get away with not polishing, I mean, sometimes you can, but in my opinion, I think it needs to be done on every job, but all kind of depends on what you're doing. But all my jobs that come out of here, they're going to be cut and polished. All right, let's get to it. We'll be using the new CSI double X cream polish. And I think Tom, maybe if you see Tom jump in here, Tom's the owner. I've been using CSI for a while now. This is a new compound that he came out with. It is a waterborne technology. So I'm curious to see how it works. The original CSI worked fine too. I like the fact that it's just a one-part polish. We do use two different pads to be able to get the gloss back, but just being the one-part polish, it just seems like it makes it really convenient. And I noticed it doesn't have like the heavy waxes and stuff that are in it, like some of the other polishes that are just kind of hiding the scratches, that kind of fill them in rather than polish them out. So I feel like this doesn't leave any residue or anything like that. Really user friendly. I like the fact that it's more of like a waterborne rather than like a pasty. I don't know what some of the other stuff is. It's just much different. So we'll check this out. I'll let you know how I feel about it after we're done tonight. We'll be using the little double-sided sponge wrap here, keeping the paper wet. I like to actually kind of prime it, keep it in there. So what we do here is, so check this out. We make sure we line up the edge right there, and then we just wrap it around from there. And then that gives you a little spot right here to be able to hold on to. You want to make sure you don't see these little edges right here. You want to make sure that you're not gouging. Like, I should fold that up better, and I will once I start sanding. But you see that? You could, what they call, you'll give it like a chainsaw scratch. And once that little edge hits down in there, it could be too deep of a scratch to be able to polish out with the compound. So we always keep that in mind. Let's get this water off here. So basically what we're doing is we're wanting to sand the clear coat smooth. We want it to be smooth like a mirror. That way we can polish it back out, and it won't have any orange peel, and it won't have some of the little dirt specks that have happened to land in it. And I'll kind of show you those. To be honest with you, this thing laid out, the clear coat laid out phenomenal. Not much orange peel. You can see, so what we're looking at here, when we're looking at orange peel, just take a look at the oval light right here. Like any kind of lighting that you have in your shop, keep an eye on the lighting right here. You can see that there's still a little bit of texture that was caused by the honeycomb stencil. You see that? If we just run that right across, there's still a texture in the clear coat that we need to cut that out. As far as orange peel, this thing looks great. I mean, I actually did a pretty good job. I did notice a tiny little run right here. See that?
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we're going to have to take care of that. And just kind of came off there. Luckily, it's really flat right here. And it just kind of balled up right there. So we're going to be able to get rid of that pretty easy. And I'll show you how to remove that as well. But if we kind of look this thing over, just once again, looking at the reflection of the light, that will kind of help us see. There's a little bit of debris right there. See, like that little guy right there it is. See, we need to make sure we're cutting stuff like that out. You can see, oh, there's a couple more right here. Kind of landed in there. Look, right here is another one.
Someone said, is this your brand of polish?
No, this is not. This is my buddy Tom. He kind of helped me out throughout the years doing my own stuff, but this brand's been around for a while. It works great. A lot of people use it. So yeah, it turned out pretty good. Now, I can't really see much for orange peel. On the back, I do have some orange peel. So let's so I can kind of show you. Okay, so orange peel. Can you see that right there in the lights? You can't see anything when there's no light on it. It looks great. But that's why you need the reflection. See that? So if this was on the face, like, we're not going to polish the back of this tank. I'm just showing you that that's orange peel. That's what we would cut out of the tank. And there's still a little bit in the tank, but it's kind of hard to see because there's not much of it. But that's what we're looking to get rid of, is that and any other kind of little imperfections that happen to fall in, like we talked about there. They're kind of here and there. They're no big deal. Once we sand this down and polish it out, you won't see any of those little specks anymore. And that's kind of the reason why we're doing it. Now, we're not going to, sorry.
Looks like Tom is on. He said, paint work looks great.
Oh, thanks, Tom. Yeah, Tom's had this company for a while now. CSI, where it's good stuff. Good stuff. Appreciate you being on here, Tom. But yeah, one thing is we want to make sure when we sand this, we're not wanting to sand the whole thing, because everything we sand, we need to polish. So we're kind of just going to cut this into sections. So we're not really wanting to, get down here and have to polish all this down here. We're really going to just like kind of blend it in and cut it off right here. And same thing, you don't want to get up sanding up next to this spout, because then you got to polish it. You can't just leave it sanded. So when we sand, we're going to make sure that we're just sanding on this section up here and then kind of round out right there. We are going to do all of this, all this back here, and then everything on top, and then kind of work up and around here, not get too close. So we're going to have to get pretty close right here because of that run. And then just this whole section in the front needs to be done. So we're not going to be obviously sanding in here at all. Nothing on the back, nothing on the bottom. So you don't want to get the sand into where you have to polish all that, where you can't even see it. Okay, well, let's start with getting that, taking care of that run. So we have 2,000 grit. We could use up to 1,200 grit. If this thing was really orange pilly, I think maybe I would use 1,200 grit and then go to 2,000. But man, there's not really much to cut out of this thing. So I feel good with just sticking with 2,000. That way we don't have to refine so much. Because once you hit it with 1,200, you need to hit it with 2,000. And once you hit it with 2,000, you need to hit it with 3,000. And then really you can polish after that if you want. Okay, let's take a look at what we're doing here. See that? There's the run. So it's come off of this area, and it's not too tall. So the nice thing is I don't need to be terribly careful. Usually what you want to do is just sand on the run to start. Oh, sorry. I got better. Just sanding on the run. And once we sand it, we can kind of see, once it's dry, how close we are to getting this out of here.
Somebody asked, should you stop at 2,000 or go to 3,000?
I would always, you could stop at 2,000. I think with CSI, you can actually stop at 1,200. It's just more work to polish it out. I would prefer to go ahead and hit it with 3,000 because it just makes your life easier when it comes to polishing. Now, if this was a big, long run, I would make sure that I was going out from the run side down. You know, I'm kind of going all over the place. I know that I have enough clear on this that I'm going to be able to knock that down, and it wasn't too bad of a run. If it's pretty gnarly, sometimes you have to be a little more careful.
Someone said, are you using just water or with soap?
Just water. Yep, good question. You could put a little drop of soap in there too. I don't think that would be any harm. It'd probably help a little bit. I don't know, maybe Tom knows.
Someone said, I was always taught to use a hard block on a run rather than a soft block.
Well, this block is actually a hard block on one side. It's very rigid on one side, and the other side is more dense. The black side on this is a harder surface. The yellow is more foam. But being a smaller run, we can get away with more. But if it's a long run that just kind of ran all over, yeah, hard block, only sanding on the run, and then only towards the end where you would blend it all in. If not, you're going to burn right through where the run's not, you know, because you're going to sand that area almost as much. Okay, we're looking good. We got it out of there. That didn't take much effort at all.
Someone said, so with this sanding, you don't need to cross-hatch sand like with primer and base?
You know, it all kind of depends. I like to do like an oval pattern like this. You know, I'll kind of like do crosshatch too, but then I like to finish it just with a light hand and just with the sand, just like I'm doing there. But yeah, I'll kind of go every which direction. You know, just work it this way, work it that way, kind of circles.
Tom says he likes just plain water too, no soap.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've never used soap. That's probably not necessary. You can see the really is where you can start seeing what you've done is when you dry it. So when you dry it, we're knocking down the gloss, and we're also able to see the imperfections a little better.
Someone said, what do you do with a run on an edge? I either always burn through or not get it quite out.
Yeah, a run on an edge is a tough one. It's most likely you're going to sand it, probably burn through, touch it up, and put it back into clear again. Very, very tough thing to do to manage a run on an edge.
And someone said, what clear is that? Is that the Glamour clear?
This is the acrylic urethane Clearcoat. You know, to be honest, I use the acrylic urethane Clearcoat pretty much for all my products. There is the 2-to-1 Glamour Clear too, which is fine. I just feel like the ease of use of the urethane, the acrylic urethane, it's just a good clear all around. Whether you're clearing in between or whether you're finishing up, just a good clear.
How long do you wait with your clear before you cut and buff? And have you ever used a razor blade?
A razor blade to get rid of a run? Yes, I have done that in the past. It would have to be a pretty gnarly run to put a razor blade on it, because basically you're scratching away the run. You're not actually cutting it off. You'd be like taking the blade and like shaving it, I guess is the best word. But that you can do that. I don't like to put myself in situations where I gotta run that bad. But if it happens, that's a good way to shave it down and then sand it out.
Would you ever use a guide coat in this process?
You could. You have to make sure you. The thing is you're gonna have to clean that off. And usually it's sanded off or in it when it's primer and there's a little bit left in the edges. I wouldn't do it. Really, just by drying the surface, you're able to see enough of what's going on. Once it's wet, you're pretty much just sand blind. Like I can't see if I'm done right now by sanding, but by drying it, this is where you're able to see your imperfections. Well, it looks like that's all sanded really smooth. That's all good. Let's go on the side here. And we'll see what we're looking like here. Once again, see I have the pad right here. I'm not going to wrap that pad around the corner. I'm pretty much cutting my edge right now. I'm going to where the crown is right here and it's starting to bend down over. I'm just going to kind of blend into that, not sanding underneath, because I don't want to polish that, and you really can't see it down there, and it looks good enough, really. I mean, we're trying to make the surface that you can see nearly flawless, but you know, underneath here there could be a little bit of specks of dirt, and that's just kind of normal. You know, we wouldn't polish all that. But check this out. You see where I just kind of barely wiped? Let me do a little more. Okay, here we go. This is a good example. Now, remember how I told you that the Clearcoat steel kind of took on the texture of the honeycomb that I laid down, but you'd actually fill this right here. So when we sand this down, you can see it just sanded the high spots and left the low spots. Kind of cool look though. But what we're doing is I'm trying to show you that there's the orange peel. There's the difference in the level and the texture. Having this sanded all the way smooth and shine back up to a gloss, it's going to look better. Like at a distance, it's going to look so much better, so much more shiny. Just making sure that you're cutting this stuff flat, you know. I mean, it looks great. I mean, it looked great right before I even did this, but this is going to take it next level. You can see it's starting to cut that all the way out. So that's going away. We're going to tuck this. See that? I was going to flip that pad, but we want to make sure we tuck that underneath there. We don't want the edge of that sandpaper to accidentally kind of just edge into that clear. Constantly drying though. That's really drying it and blowing it off just to see, you know, how much you've done. You can see we've knocked all this down. It's really smooth. See that right there? Like, oh, right there.
Did you spit on there?
No. That's water. I'm showing the little. See, it all looks good. All looks really flat, but then you see right there, there's just a little chunk of debris. So no big deal. That's why we dry it. We dry it so we can see where we're at. We don't want to sand this more than we have to. We want the clear on there, really. We don't want to pull it all off. We'll give that a little more.
B Diamond said, shouldn't Chad be doing this?
Chad knows how to do this. He's actually, he's an artist when it comes to this. He's done a lot.
Someone said, are those colors in the spray tan color flake? And will the flake match a regular flake job sprayed?
So he's talking about the new metal flake that's in the aerosol spray cans that we have that just got launched out. And yeah, those are in base coat. So all you're doing is spraying what you would usually out of a gun, already pre-done, ready to go. So yep, you can do something very similar, you know, same flake as what you see here. Kind of just breaking this off into sections. As you can see, I kind of did that top section, and now I'm doing the side, and I'm kind of going to stop like right here, and then I'll do the front. But same thing with this honeycomb here. It's doing, you know, the same thing. You can kind of see that if you were to close your eyes and run your hand across right there, you'd be able to feel that little bit of graphic. We want to make sure that we're cutting that down smooth. I'm going to go ahead and change out the paper.
Is all the CSI polishing line on all in one product? Oh, is it all in one product? Like not a
oh yeah
thing?
Well, you do it in stage, but it's one product. That's all you need is that one compound to get the job done. 2 pads. You're going to want a wool pad, and you're going to want either a foam pad or a microfiber pad. Everybody kind of does it different. Everybody has their own, there's different ways to do it. And maybe some work better than others, but I prefer a wool pad to start and a microfiber to finish on a machine. And we'll be pulling on that here in a little bit because we're getting pretty close. We're about over halfway done sanding this thing. Good.
Someone sticker said, "Is that a piece of carpet for resting the tank on?" That's a great idea. I'm going to put the same on my work stand.
Oh yeah, it looks comfy, huh? It's actually just a really nice microfiber rag, is what it is. It's like a piece of, it's a microfiber, yeah. Just something soft for it to sit on that backside, so we're not all, because we're moving this thing around quite a bit. We don't want to scratch up that backside, even though you can't see it.
Have you ever used a squeegee to take off water to see the dryness?
Yeah, that works great if you're like working on a car hood, like something that's flat that you're working down on. This, I like to dry it, but you could squeegee it too and then dry it. And a squeegee is just a rubber squeegee.
Before we logged on here tonight, Bubba was on, and he gifted, I'm not sure how many, 5 Time Work memberships I saw.
Oh, great.
He said there's not enough green in here, so we just gifted 10 more.
Man, thank you.
Thanks, Bubba.
Wow, so that membership he's given out, which that's so awesome. Appreciate that. That does give you a discount off of the Shopify website. And we do membership giveaways every once in a while too, and that might happen next week. But yes, appreciate that, man. That's way to support the channel. Thank you.
Someone said, "How about doing a skateboard soon?"
B Diamond has a skateboard going on. Should have had him on here checking in. Didn't have to deal with this boring process of cut and polish, but man, it needs to be done. It's.
Bubba gave away 25 memberships tonight so far.
Thanks, Bubba.
Freaking awesome.
Ah.
That's so cool. Thank you.
More to the family. Thank you. Okay, got that all done on the side right there. So now I just kind of want to get this front area.
Someone said, "You have just solved the big debacle for me. The edge of the paper is what has been leaving lines in my cut and buff. It usually takes me 2 or 3 times to get rid of my sanding lines to polish."
Yeah, yep. Yeah, you kind of have to be careful because, you don't want anything. It's pretty sharp, those edges. And all it takes is just, one slash. And
you always sand by hand?
Not always. A DA sander with an interface pad is a good way and a fast way. However, that can leave curly cues, little curly marks all over, and you don't see them until you're like done polishing, and then it's in the light. So I always hated that. To be honest, I like to hand sand. I feel it doesn't take that long to do, and I have so much more control. And really, I think, some jobs deserve it. This one does.
E. Brown said, "I'll send you a skateboard, Adam."
Okay, I'll take it. Wait a minute, painted already? That's what I'm looking for. You said it to me painted already. That's what I'm looking for.
Someone said, "Love the paint scheme."
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this one turned out cool. Very classy. It's going on a shovel head.
Dave said, Thank you, Adam. After I received my plate in a can prize, I plan to use it for my scallop graphics on my newest bike. My question is, can I mask off the area of the graphics scuff, paint, then pull?
Say that one more time. I wasn't quite following the whole thing.
So he says, I received my flake in a can.
Okay, yeah, spray can.
My question is, can I mask off the area of the graphic, scuff, paint, then pull?
You could.
Oh, wait, here. Sorry, it finishes. Pull off the tape to clear coat, or do I need to scuff the whole panel? Fairing and saddlebags. Mask, paint, then clear.
You really need to clear the whole thing, the whole part, not just the graphics. I think if that's what he's saying, if I didn't answer that right, just hit me up on Instagram and I could further go in detail. All right, we just about got this.
How do you feel about laying down a layer? Okay, how do you feel about laying down a layer of Bulldog post metal flake to make sure good adhesion with the clear, or even a layer of Bulldog before candy to make sure adhesion?
No, I wouldn't do that. That's not really what that's meant for. You shouldn't have. So if you're putting your clear coat in a clear base coat or intercoat clear and spraying it, your clear coat's going to stick to that afterwards. You're not going to need to scuff it down or anything. If you're spraying your clear coat in, if you're spraying your flake in clear coat, you have to wait for that to dry, and then yes, you would scuff it down, and then you do your graphics on top of that.
How much pressure are you pushing down on the sanding block?
Not much, but you can put a lot of pressure. I mean, even if you put a lot of pressure on there, it's not going to really change much. It might wear out your paper faster, and you might sand it a little faster, but you still should be putting roughly 2,000 grit scratches in it. So it's kind of foolproof. Okay, I'm going to dry this, and I'm going to, before we even move on to the next stage, you have to look at it, because you could totally miss something. You 3,000 it, and then you polish it with the first stage, and then you polish it with the second stage, and then you see something that's wrong, and then you have to go back all the way to fix that problem. So you really have to do a lot of backtracking when that happens. You need to make sure that each stage is finished before you move on. This stage is basically, we're making sure that it's completely flat. There's no dirt nibs or anything.
Kevin McCann just sent a $10 super chat.
Oh, hey, thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Appreciate that. Okay, right here. Oops, sorry. Right here, looks like just need a little bit more. You see that little. We're just following. Once again, we're just following the light right there. See it? If we just follow the light around and look at the reflection, you can see all the issues. So just one little guy right there. Let's take a look at the rest of this. It looks like right there could use just a little more. Barely can see something there. But we take care of it now instead of leaving it. And then just kind of searching over the rest. The rest all looks good. So just a little more right here.
Somebody said, how can I get a gloss and flat clear in the same part without a line? Is that possible?
Sort of. Kind of. A line that you can barely fill is possible. And the way you would do that, and it's a little tricky, and I do have a video out there that shows how to do that. My buddy Dave has a bagger that I painted with all that 80s style, pink and greens, all those bright colors, mini truck style. I actually did that in gloss and color. So everything that was black gloss, everything that was black was gloss, and everything that was in color was flat. And the way you do that is basically you do the whole paint job as normal. You clear coat it with regular gloss clear coat, and then everything you want to say, like we wanted the all of the red to be gloss, and we wanted all of the gray to be flat. We would treat this just like normal. We would paint it, do all the layers, everything with gloss clear coat. We'd finished off with gloss clear coat just like we have here. But what we would do is we would just we would sand all the red just like we're doing now. And we would polish it. After we polish it, we would tape out over what we polished and then mask it up. And then we would come back, scuff the gray, clean it all up, and then put the flat over it. But the flat goes on really thin. Flat clear coat goes on in like 2 to 3 really light coats. If you're putting it on really thick, it's going to end up glossing up a little bit on you. It's not going to look right. So you want to make sure that you have a nice, flat, clean, smooth surface, like sanded clear coat, just like this. And then the flat goes right over it. Pull the tape line, you barely can feel it. So as long as you hide it in a graphic line, like if you were to put it like straight up in the middle of this, have this side gloss that, yes, you would see like a kind of a little line. But if you were to hide it like right into, tuck it in right into that edge, you'd be able to run your hand and not really even feel an edge. You would just feel the difference in textures because the gloss is going to feel smooth. The satin's going to have a little bit of a rougher feel to it. So yeah, that's the best way to do it.
You suggest hand sanding instead of DA?
I would, especially if you're new. I would definitely do hand sanding to start. This is a small part, and you could DA sand it. I can do the job almost as fast hand sanding.
At what point do you stop sanding and reshoot clear when sanding? I'm doing a guitar and sand it through trying to get it even.
Okay, well, that's a great question, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. If you sand through, you're done. Unless you're willing to give it to the customer with a burn through it, which you shouldn't do that. But say like I was to be sanding right now and I happen to, like maybe I sanded like right here with the 2000 grit, you're not going to burn through unless you have just a razor thin layer of clear coat, which is usually not the case. But what happens usually is you'll like sand up in here on this edge and not realize you're sanding there and you burn through. Or maybe you'll sand like on this edge. See how I was making sure that there's actually a line right here. Right, check this out. See, you can see it's still glossy on the edge. I didn't even sand the edge because I'm not even going to risk it. You see how I just kind of come up to that edge area right there? Because the edge is pretty good. Like if there was a big dust right there, I would take care of it. But I'm not going to sand the whole edge. So if you were to burn through and you could see it, you would stop, you would Scotch-Brite it, you would touch it up with an airbrush, and you would put it back into clear coat. You wouldn't go any further. Don't go polishing it because now you did all that work for nothing. And if you're going to burn through, do it at first. Don't do it at the end because then you've done all that work and you're back to square one again. So that's why I say do the job right at first. Every stage, check it off, make sure it's good, move on to the next.
Mr. Rose said, I have a project that was based out a couple months back, waiting until it gets warm to clear. I'll be using your clear. Would I have to do a reprep?
Yeah, kind of depends on, well, the color too. You could just, it's better to hit it with a clear coat within a week or two after your base coat is applied. You could use a little bit of adhesion promoter. You could just do maybe a light coat of intercoat clear once it's all nice and clean. That might help bring things back together. And then also light coats of clear to start is going to give you a better chance for a better adhesion to start. If you go slamming on the clear, you would be looking at a more likely of a delamination issue. Yeah, you could take a couple of precautions. It's best to try to get things cleared within a week or two.
Somebody said, I've been restoring for 30 plus years. I've never done flat. Can you do maybe a semi-gloss to replicate a vintage look?
I'm not a fan of semi-gloss clear coat. In fact, I hate it. I think clear coat either has to be high gloss or it needs to be flat, because if there's anything in between, it looks like it's a bad clear job. Like it looks like it might have been polished bad, or I don't know. It's just not, it's either flat or gloss, man. That's my personal opinion on it. There is some flat clear coats out there that are kind of semi-gloss. So you could probably look out for those. I wouldn't.
How would you mix candy colors to make a teal color?
Candy colors to make a teal color, you would just take the blue and then just a few drops of gold into that, or green. You need to take green candy or gold candy into the blue. Gold candy is going to do the same thing. You just need a little less of it.
Sticker said, did my first image transfer on a tank this week. It was a journey, but got it done. Looks sweet. Nice. Way to go.
Yeah, it's nice to have those first image transfers under your belt because they're not easy.
Tricky.
Yeah, they can a lot of variables. What I've learned with the image transfers, don't like wipe them a whole bunch, like because you're wiping all the glue out. I'd rather like dry out the glue with a heat gun, and then give it, kind of, wipe out all of the water. But every time you're wiping it, it's just like you're pushing more of that adhesive out, and it doesn't have that much on there to begin with.
When are you gonna have the 3D cube stencils?
Oh man, I actually have those made and ready to go. I'm just waiting to do the instructions on them. So hopefully we can have those done here soon. We got more help coming to the company, so I think I'm gonna have a little more free time, I'm hoping. Okay. Oh, somebody did ask about a DA sander. So yes, I am going to use a DA sander for the 3000 grit portion of this. But we did talk about it earlier that you could use 6-inch DA paper and 2000 grit as well, and sand the surface, with that. But whenever I'm using 3000 grit, I always try to use a DA sander because with the 3000, you're really not going to put curly cues in it. Curly cues are like, they're just like little curly scratches. Like if something gets like caught up in your paper and you just, like a little piece of debris or piece of sand or something gets caught up in there, it's just going to cause havoc like all around, because DA sanders, they don't just spin, they oscillate. So they do more than just spin. You see, they kind of just rotate like that, dual action. So we're going to keep this wet, dip it in there. This, the DA sanders, Limeline, it's all, it's a water resistant, so you can get good to get these things wet. They still last. When I work this DA sander, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of working this section right here. See how I have it kind of tilted? And I'm going to go over a little farther than what I did the 2000 grit. All this is doing is refining the 2000 grit scratches into 3000 grit scratches. Oh, it's going to make it easier to polish. Okay, let's check that out. Once again, drying it's going to show you any of the defects and how we're doing so far. You can see that's already starting to really shine it up. It's taking it, and actually it's making it more shiny than it was just a second ago, because we are refining those scratches a little bit. Not much. It's 2000 to 3000, but it really means a lot when it comes to polishing.
Is the black candy or base coat shadowing?
That is a black candy, yes. Yep.
Are you going to get more Cricut stencil rolls in stock?
Yeah, good question. We do have those actually on order. Our last go around with those, that stencil film didn't go too well. So we did work with another manufacturer that has us rolls of 13-inch width that will fit right into the Cricut Maker without a mat, and price is going to be much better. So keep an eye out for that. Probably we're still about 30 days away from that, but you'll see that come out.
Sergio says, $10 super chat and says, as a new member, been watching your videos for a while. First time live. Want to say thanks for your kindness and respectful way of teaching.
All right. Hey, that means a lot to us. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the super chat. I'm glad we can help. Okay, keeping at it here. You don't really have to worry with the 3000 grit burning through. If you were to hit it like on the edge, maybe it would happen, but I'm pushing pretty hard and being pretty aggressive with this. CSI?
Yeah.
No, nope. You can get CSI on Amazon though, as far as I know, or you just check out the CSI website. It's also in a lot of jobber stores. You can see with the 3000 grit, I wasn't as worried coming up to this edge because I am only using 3000 grit, so it would take a lot to burn that through.
Can you use a 1.7 spray gun tip to spray the metal flake, or is it always better to have a 2.0?
It all depends on the flake that you're spraying. You don't really need, unless you're spraying like 0.25, 0.025. Yeah, maybe you would need a gun that big. Once again, man, I'm telling you, the smaller, a couple of sizes of the smaller flake mixed together is a better look, and it's much easier to manage rather than throwing down big flake. If you're gonna plan on spraying down big flake, just so you know, you're gonna be messing with a lot of texture to get that down. So if you're spraying a whole car, bless your heart, because it's going to be a lot of work at that point, you know, spraying all that down and all that thickness that you're laying down, especially next to molding. Make sure you're pulling your mold, anything like that. To be honest, this is a 0.004 and a 0.008 limelight flake that's mixed together. Two sizes, easy to manage. You're still going to get the flake pop, and in my opinion, it looks smoother and better that way. Sometimes when it gets the big flake, it looks kind of like styrofoam kind of look, you know. You can use an interface pad, yes. It's going to be a little more aggressive without one, and I'm good with it being a little more aggressive. And, you know, for those that don't know, interface pad is just, I don't know if I have one laying around here. It's just a foam pad that goes in between here. It's like a mid-level pad, and like when you're working on like the crowns of this, it's going to kind of mold around it, giving more contact to the whole pad. However, being a stiffer surface like this, it's going to be a lot more aggressive, and we're able to do the job a lot faster just by not using the pad. But to be honest, if I was doing the fender, I might put the interface pad in. It's a little more contoured.
you planning on putting the crushed glass in a spray can?
No, the crushed glass, it won't really work in a spray can. It's much too thick, too big, too chunky. To be honest, nor would you really want to deal with it in a spray can. Spray cans come with the 0.04.
What if it's ready to spray? I can have it
in a can.
For ready to spray in like a little paint can. Like this?
Yeah, but what in it again?
The crushed glass in there.
Like that's a good question. Yeah, that's I didn't really think about that.
Well, that was
okay.
I added to that.
That was you?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, you're going good ideas.
That's the second one today.
2 good ideas in one day. Wow. That was yesterday. You're on a roll. All right, we're pretty close to being ready here. That looks good.
Can you do a demo on the crushed glass?
Yeah, if you look back in my videos, I do have a video on the crushed glass. You have to go back in there a little deep, but just in the content, the regular content videos, you'll see something with crushed glass. You might even be able to search it out.
Should we do a giveaway?
Yeah, let's do it because we're about well, we're ready to polish, so we're over halfway done here.
Okay, let me ask a couple questions.
Okay.
So after spraying plate, if you are not doing graphics, you can go straight to 2K clear, and if you plan on doing graphics, you will spray Intercoat clear.
Over the top. Yeah, there's more than one way to do it. Yes, that is a way to do it, and I prefer kind of like how I built. You know, if you look back on how we painted this, and we have a lot of content just on this job itself. I prefer to, once I'm done with a particular graphic, to bury it in 2K clear coat again. That way you're locking it down. You're not just applying a bunch of 1K base coat and building it up. I feel like having a 2K in between is a better way. It also helps with being able to sand down your edges. It also helps with if you have overspray on another. So if you have it cleared and you're wanting to do more graphics after that, you would basically just sand it smooth, clean it, do your graphics. That first layer of graphics would get clear coated, let it dry, sand it smooth again, do your next layer of graphics, and just keep going at that. And usually at the end of the day, when the graphics are done, I'll throw it in the booth, come in the next day, it's ready to go again. But yes, you could use Intercoat clear in between there, but you're really not sanding it smooth. So anytime you overlap graphics, you're going to be able to see a little bit of an edge. And also, I feel like it's just, it's not as durable of a finish. I like to be able to lock things down 2K clear coat. It dries hard. You can always scuff it down, clean it, and do more. So this is multiple layers of clear coat over the top with graphics in between. Once it's all clear coated and finished, you can't really tell the layers. You can tell it's nice and deep and rich, but you can't tell that, this line may be, 2 clear coats up, whether this is, the first layer of clear coat. You can't tell once it's all said and done. So, yeah, sorry, kind of long-winded, but there's more than one way to do it. I prefer 2K in between, if possible.
John sent a $10 super chat and said, "Poor Ashley for asking my question." He wanted the crushed glass already made too.
Oh, there you go. Okay, we got another one. That might have to do that.
Somebody said, "I ran out of reducer today." Thanks, John, for the super chat, and I will buy the protein coffee tomorrow with it.
Oh, yeah.
Someone said, "I ran out of reducer today and only have a small amount left. Can I use any brand reducer with line paints?"
Yes.
Get the job finished? Yeah.
Not any brand. Not any brand. Yeah. If it's urethane reducer, you're most likely 100% going to be okay. There is DuPont has the obviously can't use a water-based reducer. It wouldn't be urethane reducer anyways, but there is some reducers from DuPont that you might kind of want to stay away from. that are like a base maker reducer. But yeah, I mean, if you're using, Omni, PPG reducer, High Tech, any of these reducers, they're most likely going to work. You're not going to have any problem with it.
Is inner coat clear the same as binder? Well, I think he means
Yeah.
binder, or which one is better for mixing candy concentrate?
Okay, they're all, well, coming from me, clear base coat, inner coat clear, and binder, they're all kind of the same thing. And maybe they're called something different because they're used for either like maybe binding the candy concentrate together, but that's the same thing as what like an inner coat clear or a clear base coat would be. When it comes to the Limeline brand, clear base coat, inner coat clear binder is what we call it, is going to be the same thing. So if you're at binder, inner coat clear, clear base coat, most likely you're working with the same product or close to the same product that's going to do the same thing, if that makes sense. There's more than one way to do it, So, a lot of these manufacturers didn't put out the line to accommodate custom painters. We're doing a lot of things that are different than what an average body shop painter would do to either restore a car or to refinish a car. But we're doing a lot of things a little bit different, so we kind of use the products to our advantage to get different effects and stuff like that. So yeah, inner coat clear, clear base coat, binder, most likely is going to do the same thing across the board. When it comes to Limeline, you buy one of those 3 things, you're going to be fine.
Okay, don't be doing anything because I think we're going to have to spin the wheel, hey?
Oh yeah, let's spin the wheel. So this winner is going to win the Ultimate Pack. This is a great prize too. I mean, I'm telling you, this has all of the sandpaper. I think there's like 4 more in here. It has 180, 400. I'm sorry. It has 400 grit, 600 grit, 800 grit, 2000 grit, and then I missed one, 1200 grit. Plus, it comes with the handy little sponge pad there too. You can also buy that separate, but those are great to have. This is a good way to do it. So yeah, let's do it. Let's spin that wheel. Lime into the comments. #lime. And we'll pick a winner. But if you don't win, the next, we're going to give out another one of these along with a t-shirt on the second giveaway.
There you go.
Okay. Good luck. How do you say her name again?
Oh, come on.
I don't want to say it wrong.
Come on.
All right. Well, hey, we know you can use it. Congratulations.
Say it.
I ain't saying nothing. I'll only butcher a dude's name. No, I'm not doing that. All right. Well, congratulations. Winner, chicken dinner.
You wussy.
Come on. Okay. All right. So first, we're going to use the wool pad. We talked about this earlier. Wool pad and the microfiber pad. Tom has something similar too. I think he has a polisher as well. So a polisher and then his 2 pads. Everybody has their own way of doing it. Really, the most important thing is to use a more aggressive pad, which is wool, to start, and then you want to finish it off with something softer like this or a foam pad. Whatever floats your boat. I know this works for me, and I like it, and they fit really nice. And this does spin. That's another important thing is when you have the if it oscillates like that DA sander, it's not going to be nearly as aggressive. It's going to take you a lot longer to be able to get the job done. These that spin are going to get it done faster. It's going to be more aggressive. It's going to heat up that clear coat and get the job done better. And also, there's a question that there was a 2-part question I didn't answer earlier. Somebody did ask how long I waited on this. So this was clear coated 2 days ago. It's been awfully cold here in the shop, down into the 60s. 2 days, actually, it's been 2.5 days. So it's good. It's good and dry now, but usually within 24 hours or so, you're good to go. So, and it's better to stay within that window. Once you get out to like a week or over a week, the clear coat's harder and it's going to be harder to polish back out once it's sanded. Not to say you can't. It's just going to be a little more work. It's not as soft, it's not as pliable, and it doesn't really, you know, move around and slick out quite as fast.
Bubba says if Adam tries to say the last winner's name, I'm not going to say it.
No.
Then he'll donate more memberships immediately.
I'm not going to do that to her. Sorry, I can't do it.
You pussy.
My tongue won't even do it. I'm trying. I'm opening my mouth and nothing's coming out.
For the first time she was on here, she had to teach me how to say it. But...
Yeah, I'm not doing it. It's like asking a girl how old she is or if she's pregnant. Don't do that stuff, man.
B Diamond said, also the next winner will get a signed picture of him shirtless.
Oh my gosh. Who won? Time Orb.
Here's how you say her name. Right here.
Okay.
Right here.
I'm not going to say it. I'm
no,
not
look
going
at
to
the screen. You have to look at the screen to get it.
Well, let's see. Holiday. Like a holiday? Oh, that's not bad. I won't remember that. Okay, so you see I kind of primed the pad here. Plus, I didn't want to splash compound all over Ashley.
Don't do that.
Yeah, because you just slap it on there and go spinning this thing. That's exactly what's going to happen. So I'm kind of just priming it. I'm getting a good lather on there. Maybe I could use a little more, to be honest. Let's get this thing loaded up. So, especially if you're doing a big job, man, yeah, get the pad loaded up and nice and wet. Because
what causes your finish to look slightly cloudy in sunlight, even though the reflection is like a mirror?
You could have sometimes if you apply the clear coat really wet and really fast, it could cause a little bit of cloudiness in there, either by trapping air bubbles and some other stuff like that. So if it's like a round, like a crown or something where it may have really just got really saturated, sometimes those air bubbles can get caught up in there, causing that cloudiness. Also, if you've like, say you painted something, cleared it, sanded it smooth, you know, did a little bit of graphics on it, and you cleared it, but maybe you left a little bit of that sanding residue back, like you cleared over a little bit of that sanding residue, it would be hard to see in the booth, but once you put it out in the light, you would see some cloudiness from that too. So whenever you're re-clear coating, make sure that your surface is clean and make sure that you're refining those scratches to at least 600 grit. Some people, you can get away with 400 grit, but that's going to leave more of a surface scratch for the sanding residue when you're sanding it to get caught up into. Does that make sense? It's like the smoother the scratches, the less to kind of hide in there. So it takes more work to make sure all that residue is out, especially in dark colors where it shows up the most. So hopefully that helps. That's some of the problems without seeing it that could happen.
Yay, you did it.
All right. Oh, hey, there we go. I'm earning.
Someone said, can I get away with a Ryobi handheld drill style polisher for helmets and smaller jobs?
Yeah, I think so. I think for smaller jobs that would probably work. If it had the higher speed on it, you can see that's not even really that high of a speed. But you see, look at that. It's bringing the shine right back. This stuff is good, man. I didn't really do that much work right there. Wow, let's take a closer look at this. Wow, okay. I'm looking for like little sand scratches maybe. Like once again, we're following the light. See the light right here? But if we follow that light, you see how it just really doesn't move? It just kind of stays the same shape. That's because the surface is smooth. That's what we're looking for. And from a, I mean, like I said, this looked great when we first started, but from a distance and from up close, because obviously all the dirt nibs are gone, you can just tell the difference. This thing's really going to glow, and it's going to look better than like anything else out there on the road, because this is sanded completely smooth. This is not something that's done like at the factories or anything like that. This is going the extra mile to make sure that your paint jobs are a showroom finish. It really doesn't take that much work. So you can see I already did that top part, or this bottom part right here. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of like cutting out sections. I'm not going all over the place, because I'll kind of forget what I've done and not really, kind of just get disoriented really. So I like to just, cut it up into sections, do that section, and then move on, and then just kind of go over. Like I did everything right here. And then right here, I'll do probably this right here. And then I'll just kind of go over a little bit farther to make sure that I'm not missing anything.
He said, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, look at this, man. This stuff is working great.
Do you do anything to the areas you can't see?
No. Well, you do actually. When you spray them in the booth, the areas that you're not going to be cutting and buffing, you're going to want to make sure that you get those laid out as good as possible. Because you don't want to cut and buff it. Like the backside, it really doesn't matter. But the backside, I pay just about as much attention as the top side, because I know I'm not going to be polishing it there. So especially like around the edges here, like, you don't want to leave a big dry spot like right up in here. That you just wouldn't want to have to deal with that. So, making sure that the paint is nice and flowed out in those areas, especially like down here too. You don't want to polish down here, but you want it to be nice and smooth. So you just make sure that if you have any problems, you put it in the middle so you can take care of it. I'm just driving that compound and heating it up. That's really what's smoothing this thing out. You can see, like, once you get enough compound going and heating up, it kind of starts turning into like a little bit of a glaze, and you can see it's just starting to glaze up. That's great, because that's exactly what I like to see. Is once it starts doing that, it makes it so much easier to start polishing. It does the job so much faster once it gets to that stage. Keeping the pad wet. Don't be skimpy on it, because you're just hurting yourself. Make sure it stays wet and you're getting that good, nice glaze.
Anthony did 5 memberships too.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thanks,
guys.
Anthony. Man. On a skateboard, I would just use the 1K spray primer and a aerosol spray can. But you could also use the 2-part primer surfacer, block that smooth, and then you're good to go. The same thing with the aerosol spray can. You can just spray it down, give it a good 3-4 coats, let it dry, and block it down, and you're good to go. That'll seal that wood up pretty good. Nice thing about wood is paints really like to stick to it. So it's good porous, good and porous, good for paint to stick to. So primer's great. Okay, I think we got that side done. Let's wipe this thing down and see how it looks.
Someone's wondering if we use any type of light diffusers in the shop to help show off the paint.
Yeah, well, we do. The one you're looking at right here is actually a diffused light. But no, I always found with taking pictures of your paint jobs, it's very challenging. It's hard to do. But just messing with your the aperture of the camera, pulling down the some of those highlights and stuff. That's the best way I've been able to take a photo. I prefer to take videos of all my stuff, and I feel like it shows it better. But yeah, I'm not much of a photographer. Just the light. The light's good for just being able to see the imperfections here, which there's not much of anything now. It's looking great.
Can too much pressure be applied when cutting and buffing?
Yeah, I feel like you would have to be pretty strong though. I'm pressing down pretty hard. I don't think you're going to mess anything up. You could maybe not have enough compound on your pad, and you could burn it up maybe by pressing too hard. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll take care of this back side. A little more compound. And then I polished all the way up to here already, but then I'll polish back, like I said earlier. When I do this side, I'll go over a little farther. That way I'm not missing any areas. Cold air coming out of there, huh?
Yeah, it's blowing my hair everywhere. I'm making my ear cold. One ear.
Your one ear cold?
Yeah, it's cold.
All right.
I've used the CSI polish on my bike frames, and it works great.
Yeah, this stuff is working phenomenal. Man, so much faster.
Someone said, working on a pedal car for my kid. It's made of fiberglass. Anything I should know before trying to spray paint it with cans?
Fiberglass would be using an adhesion promoter or a primer on top of that. So fiberglass, primer over that, sand it smooth, clean it up, and then you're ready to go.
Creative Cuts Media is on. It says, been a while since I've been here. What's the membership get me, and where do I purchase it?
You can go onto YouTube and just check on the memberships tab there. It's going to get you, depending on the tier that you're signed up for. The basic tier, I think, gets you, if I'm not mistaken, it's 10% off. And then you'll get 15% off the that ultimate package. You also get, we do giveaways and some other fun stuff there too as well.
Tom is on, who is the creator of the CSI.
Yeah.
Pads are working great. Looks like it's really cutting out the sound scratch as well with a very nice finish.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, now, like, look, follow our light again here. And it's just no ripples, no problems. Right there. No, it all looks good. We're just kind of following this to see what's going on. The shine's coming back. This is actually, this is going so fast. Like, I don't know. I don't notice the difference between the old stuff and this as far as the quality, because it always just shined up good, you know, but I don't remember it being this fast. So, okay, cool. Yeah, so far, so good. Let's go ahead. We did this whole section here, the side, the bottom, this. So I think we just got to finish up right here. So once again, breaking it up into those little sections. So if the phone rings or if a customer comes in, hopefully you can remember where you started and you don't have to start back all up over again. You know, that's usually what happens. When it comes to cut and buff, I usually just like to put my headphones in, and it's pretty much just automatic. I don't have to think much about it. It's just a time just to kind of check out. It's pretty fun. I actually like polishing when I only have to do it like every once in a while. Get that rubbed in so we don't make a mess. Shoot, I don't want to say because I really don't know. I can't remember what I paid for it. I don't know. I think I remember it being around $50 or something, but maybe it was a little more than that, $60 or something. Maybe Tom will let you know. Yes, this is the new XX. Yep. He still does have the original though, from what I understand. But I'm liking this stuff, so. Working very, very fast. We'll give it one kind of one over, one more time. A little bit less pressure, just kind of gliding over the surface. Same thing here. Just lessening the pressure. Kind of just let it barely just glide up against it. Not necessary. That's just the way I like to do it. Okay. Let's switch out these pads. Go ahead and we'll eyeball this thing. Once again, once you get done with the stage, if you move on to the second stage and you miss a little bit, like say down here, and you get it all polished, your second stage is not going to get, most likely that the other pad is not going to get it out. So that's why I said it's always a good idea to look over what you got before you move on. That way you're not going backwards.
What? So they want to know what polisher you're using.
I'm using the Creamex Double X.
The machine.
Oh. Well, there's that right there, and then the machine is the Limeline polisher. This is the it also comes with the pads. So yeah, there's that as well. All right, let's take a look at this thing and see if there's anywhere that we may have missed, or it might be a little bit fuzzy. I don't think so. Let's check up over here. Usually these areas are right here where it can miss the most. Maybe a little more right there.
Does the head pivot?
The head of the polisher? No, it's all just one solid unit. Need a little more right here. I'm gonna hit it. That should do it.
Tom says, great demonstrations.
All right, yeah, we still have one more pad. Oh, we don't want that on there. What the heck? Boop. One more pad. Now, this is the easiest step, really, because all the hard work is done. It's sanded smooth, and we polished it out with the first wool pad. It looks great. Like, most people wouldn't even notice the difference if we just didn't even do this. But once we do this, you're going to see a little bit more glow. Those scratches are going to be refined a little bit more because really there is microscopic scratches all over this thing. Our eyes can't pick it up. It's too fine. And we're going to knock this down even farther to where we're going to make sure that we can't see any of these scratches. We're going to refine these all the way down to, who knows, maybe a 300,000 grit or something. Something that nobody can ever see with their naked eye.
They say it already looks awesome.
Yeah, well, we're gonna one up it. We're gonna do one more thing real quick. Don't forget to hit lime in the comments because we're gonna give away the last giveaway. It's gonna get you that sanding pack, also the free T-shirt. So we'll need to know your size if you win this next one. But let's go ahead and we'll get this pad saturated. There we go. We'll make a mess. Oh yeah, there we go. Maybe a little more on that edge. There we go. Maybe a little more on this baby.
How long do the pads last?
You know what? If you keep them clean, like if you clean it and with water right after this, they're going to last a really long time. It's going to take a while for them to break down. I abuse the heck out of these things, so I usually just leave the compound in them and I'll clean them up before I use them again. You can also put them in a plastic bag, Ziploc bag. It'll help keep this compound from drying up on you. So it definitely can. And also keeps your compound good. If this is all the way soaked up, you lock it up in a Ziploc bag, you're good next time you have the nice compound. You don't have to use or waste as much. All right, let's do this. And once again, I'm going to go a little farther than my last one. So now I'm actually starting to wrap this edge just to make sure that we're not leaving any of our edges unsanded or unpolished. Oh, wow. Look at this thing. It's really starting to shine up now. A little more compound right here.
That's so cold.
A little cold. Look, cold air coming out, huh?
Oh my gosh,
Here, let me point it this way. Okay, last little bit right up here in the front. And just one last one over. All right. We are good. Let's check this thing out. It wasn't too much work. I did a lot of talking too. So let's get a brand new rag. Take a brand new microfiber. Make sure this thing's cleaned up. Oh yeah. I mean, you can see like from earlier to now, you can really see how much shine this thing's really putting out. I mean, how reflective is this thing? Man, good job, Tom.
Shiny.
And obviously I'm not lying because you can see the results here. This is good stuff. Very easy. You only have to worry about one compound. Some of these other companies have 3 different compounds, and you're mixing them up, and they're getting contaminated into the second or third compound. One compound just makes it easier because you just change the pad. I mean, your project can still be wet with the same compound and just change the pad. It's just so user friendly. Like I wouldn't mess with anything else. It's going to be cheaper route to go than spending the $180 for all of 3 compounds and whatever that costs. I like it. Let's take a look at this thing. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've done 1 or 2 of these before. But let's get a close-up of this thing, and then we'll give away that last giveaway. Lime into the comments. You're going to win the Ultimate Sand Pack that we used and the free t-shirt. So we'll need to know your size on this one.
Size when you type the email.
Yep. But I mean, once again, just following the light. There's just no movement. Before it was kind of, you can see the texture, orange pill texture. Exactly what an orange looks like. This does not look like an orange. Turned out really good. I'm really happy with this stuff. So once again, CSI, a Cream X polish, double X. We have the Lime Line polisher with the sanding sandpaper, along with the dual action sander. But we did it. We made it happen. I only There we go. Where did I stop?
Nope.
You can. I'll go back with my line. So you can rewatch everything we've done here. We had all the lives. You can go back into the library there and check all those out. But we've done the metal flake, the candy paint, the leafing, the red candy over the leaf. So that's silver leaf with red candy over the top. And if you can see, it's actually blended from the sides into the center. It's kind of hard to tell on the camera, but there's a little bit of a blend there. We did the graphics and everything. So you can rewatch everything we've done here all the way to the polishing. So no excuses. You know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, you can figure it out through the channel. We have it right there. So, okay, enough talking. We're going to give away the last giveaway, and we're going to be on our way.
Y'all said it looks awesome.
All right.
Good job.
Thank you.
Shiny, beautiful.
Shiny, shiny.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, yep, let's do it. Lime in the comments. Last chance. Let's go. Okay, who we got? Good luck, guys. Lucky Leprechaun 3D. All right. Congrats. Let us know when you send us the email at info@limelinepaintsupply.com. Let us know your t-shirt size because you also did win a t-shirt. But you're going to have this sanding supplies ready to go for your next project.
Someone said, what's that product again? I missed it that you used.
We used the Cream X, Double X CSI polish. So you want to look it up under CSI. We did use the Limeline rotary polisher. We did use the Limeline DA sander. We used 3000 grit. We also used 2000. That was my head. 2000 grit to be able to sand down the surface to get rid of the orange pill. So we sanded Clearcoat. We polished it back out. It's really an amazing thing. If you don't know how it works, you kind of wouldn't believe it. But that's how it works.
He said it looks so sick, and John said, I've learned so much over the last 18 months from you. Great job. Looks awesome. They love CSI. They won't use anything else, people have said.
Yeah, well, they're smart people then because it's good stuff. And it's a cheaper way to go. And Tom's a good guy. He cares about his product and cares about getting good results.
Someone said, can I set reminders for your live videos?
Yeah, you can just go ahead and hit the bell icon when you're on the YouTube channel there, and then click all notifications. Okay. I'm just going to rub this thing until the paint comes off.
After cut and buff, just use CSI?
You could, that's a great question too. I should probably address that, the care afterwards. Now, on fresh clear coat, even if after it's been polished, it's best to wait a little bit before applying a wax. Everybody has their, wait 3 months, wait 2 months or whatever. I would wait 3 months before laying any wax down. You could, clog up and suffocate that clear coat that's still releasing a little bit of the solvents. So yeah, I like to wait a little bit. Really, there's no reason to apply wax at this point right now anyways. Get it on the bike, keep it clean with glass cleaner. And then 3 months down the road, if it's your bike, go ahead and put some wax on it. But that's what I would advise my customers is, give it a little bit. And then 3 months later, definitely layer down a nice thick coat of high quality wax. I think there's also some CSI products you can use after the fact too. I don't know much about them, but I know there's stuff there you can use. Okay, that's it.
Good.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you guys for the membership giveaways. That's huge. And yeah, I mean, we wouldn't do this if you weren't here, but you're here, and we thank you for that. So we should be here next Thursday, right? Next Thursday we're setting up for Autorama, but I will be here later on. So we'll be here next Thursday. We might be doing something in spray paint. Who knows? But we are done with this project finally. So I'll get the rest of these polished, get them back to the customer, and then next week be something new. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay.
So quick question about leafing. I can't get it to spin that great by hand.
You can try a screwdriver, like a screwdriver machine. What do you call those?
Drill?
Drill.
Wow.
Not really a drill. It's a screwdriver drill. You wouldn't call a screwdriver a drill. But yeah, if you're not, the biggest thing is making sure that you're applying the leaf to a smooth surface and you're not over applying the glue, making a texture, because you really need the leaf to lay down as straight and as flat, and you need to burnish it as glossy as you can.
Drill press?
No, not a drill press, like a electric screwdriver.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't spin. They don't spin. No, not an impact.
I'm just reading what they're saying. Screwdriver machine?
I know. Screwdriver machines is terrible.
I'm trying to help you out.
Not electric screwdriver.
Screwdriver
You could use a drill too.
Screwdriver machine. Is that a Limelight brand?
Hey, I'm not going to argue with the fact that I know I'm an idiot, okay? Why do you think I didn't try to pronounce their name? I'm not. I know my boundaries. I shouldn't even be talking right now.
Screwdriver machine's at the bar,
bro. Okay, let's get out of here. We're all gonna forget about this. Floor buffer. Nah, screwdriver machine. That's what you need. Okay. Anyways, okay, let's get out of here. We're done here. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you being here. Hey, thanks, Tom. Great product.
Good night, guys. See you next week. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Screwdriver machine.